Leviticus Chapter 16. Then Jehovah spoke to Moses after the death of the two sons of Aaron, when they drew near before Jehovah and died. And Jehovah said to Moses, Tell Aaron your brother that he shall not enter at just any time into the Holy of Holies inside the veil before the expiation cover, which is upon the ark, lest he die, for I will appear in the cloud over the expiation cover. In this way Aaron shall come into the Holy of Holies, with a bull of the herd for a sin offering and a ram for a burnt offering. He shall put on the holy linen tunic, and linen trousers shall be upon his body, and he shall gird himself with the linen girdle and be attired with the linen turban. These are the holy garments. And he shall bathe his flesh in water and put them on. And he shall take from the assembly of the children of Israel 2 male goats for a sin offering and 1 ram for a burnt offering. And Aaron shall present the bull of the sin offering, which is for himself, and make expiation for himself and for his household. And he shall take the 2 goats and set them before Jehovah at the entrance of the tent of meeting. And Aaron shall cast lots on the 2 goats, 1 lot for Jehovah and the other lot for Azazel. And Aaron shall present the goat on which the lot for Jehovah fell, and offer it as a sin offering. But the goat on which the lot for Azazel fell shall be made to stand alive before Jehovah to make expiation over it, that it may be sent away for Azazel into the wilderness. And Aaron shall present the bull of the sin offering, which is for himself, and shall make expiation for himself and for his household, and shall slaughter the bull of the sin offering, which is for himself. And he shall take a censer full of coals of fire from the altar before Jehovah, with his hands full of finely ground sweet incense, and bring it inside the veil. And he shall put the incense upon the fire before Jehovah, that the cloud of the incense may cover the expiation cover that is over the testimony, so that he does not die. And he shall take some of the blood of the bull and sprinkle it with his finger upon the expiation cover toward the east, and before the expiation cover he shall sprinkle some of the blood with his finger 7 times. Then he shall slaughter the goat of the sin offering, which is for the people, and bring its blood inside the veil, and do with its blood as he did with the blood of the bull, and sprinkle it upon the expiation cover and before the expiation cover. And he shall make expiation for the Holy of Holies because of the uncleannesses of the children of Israel and because of their transgressions, for all their sins. And so he shall do for the tent of meeting, which dwells with them in the midst of their uncleannesses. And no one shall be in the tent of meeting when he goes in to make expiation in the Holy of Holies until he comes out and has made expiation for himself and for his household and for all the congregation of Israel. Then he shall go out to the altar that is before Jehovah and make expiation for it, and he shall take some of the blood of the bull and some of the blood of the goat, and put it on and around the horns of the altar. And he shall sprinkle some of the blood on it with his finger 7 times, thus he will cleanse it and sanctify it from the uncleannesses of the children of Israel. And when he has finished making expiation for the Holy of Holies and the tent of meeting and the altar, he shall present the live goat. And Aaron shall lay both his hands on the head of the live goat and confess over it all the iniquities of the children of Israel and all their transgressions, even all their sins, and he shall put them on the head of the goat, and shall send it away into the wilderness by means of the man who has been appointed. Thus the goat shall bear away all their iniquities on itself to a solitary land, and he shall let the goat go in the wilderness. And Aaron shall come into the tent of meeting and take off the linen garments, which he put on when he went into the Holy of Holies, and leave them there. And he shall bathe his body in water in a holy place and put on his garments. Then he shall come out and offer his burnt offering and the burnt offering of the people, and make expiation for himself and for the people. And the fat of the sin offering he shall burn on the altar. And he who lets the goat go for Azazel shall wash his clothes and bathe his body in water, and afterward he may come into the camp. And the bull of the sin offering and the goat of the sin offering, whose blood was brought in to make expiation in the Holy of Holies, shall be carried forth outside the camp, and they shall burn in the fire their skins and their flesh and their dung. And he who burns them shall wash his clothes and bathe his body in water, and afterward he may come into the camp. And this shall become a perpetual statute for you. In the 7th month on the 10th day of the month you shall afflict your souls and not do any work, neither the native nor the sojourner who sojourns among you. For on this day expiation shall be made for you, in order to cleanse you, from all your sins you shall be clean before Jehovah. It is a Sabbath of complete rest for you, and you shall afflict your souls. It shall be a perpetual statute. And the priest who is anointed and whose hands are filled to serve as a priest in his father's place shall make expiation, thus he shall put on the linen garments, even the holy garments. And he shall make expiation for the holy sanctuary, and he shall make expiation for the tent of meeting and for the altar, and he shall make expiation for the priests and for all the people of the congregation. And this shall become a perpetual statute for you, in order to make expiation for the children of Israel because of all their sins, once in the year. And just as Jehovah had commanded Moses, so he did. Leviticus Chapter 17. Then Jehovah spoke to Moses, saying, Speak to Aaron and to his sons and to all the children of Israel, and say to them, This is what Jehovah has commanded, saying, Any one of the house of Israel who slaughters an ox or a sheep or a goat within the camp, or who slaughters it outside the camp, and has not brought it to the entrance of the tent of meeting to present it as an offering to Jehovah before the tabernacle of Jehovah, that man shall be accounted as guilty of bloodshed. He has shed blood, and that man shall be cut off from among his people. This is so that the children of Israel will bring their sacrifices which they sacrifice in the open field, that they will bring them to Jehovah at the entrance of the tent of meeting to the priest and sacrifice them as sacrifices of peace offerings to Jehovah. And the priest shall sprinkle the blood on the altar of Jehovah at the entrance of the tent of meeting and burn the fat for a satisfying fragrance to Jehovah. And they shall no more sacrifice their sacrifices to the goat demons, to whom they prostitute themselves. This shall become a perpetual statute for them throughout their generations. And you shall say to them, Any one of the house of Israel or of the sojourners who sojourn among them, who offers a burnt offering or sacrifice, and does not bring it to the entrance of the tent of meeting to sacrifice it to Jehovah, that man shall be cut off from his people. And any one of the house of Israel or of the sojourners who sojourn among them, who eats any blood, I will set my face against that person who eats blood and cut him off from among his people. For the life of the flesh is in the blood, and I have given it to you to make expiation for your souls on the altar, for it is the blood, by reason of the life, that makes expiation. Therefore I said to the children of Israel, No person among you shall eat blood, nor shall any sojourner who sojourns among you eat blood. And any one of the children of Israel or of the sojourners who sojourn among them, who in hunting takes an animal or bird that may be eaten, shall pour out its blood and cover it with dust. For as to the life of all flesh, its blood is its very life, therefore I have said to the children of Israel, You shall not eat the blood of any flesh, for the life of all flesh is its blood, whoever eats it shall be cut off. And every person who eats that which dies of itself or is torn by beasts, whether he is a native or a sojourner, shall wash his clothes and bathe in water and be unclean until the evening, then he shall be clean. But if he does not wash them or bathe his body, then he shall bear his iniquity. Leviticus Chapter 18. Then Jehovah spoke to Moses, saying, Speak to the children of Israel, and say to them, I am Jehovah your God. You shall not do as they do in the land of Egypt, in which you dwelt, and you shall not do as they do in the land of Canaan, where I am bringing you, nor shall you walk in their statutes. You shall observe my ordinances, and you shall keep my statutes to walk in them, I am Jehovah your God. So you shall keep my statutes and my ordinances, by which, if a man does them, he will live, I am Jehovah. None of you shall approach to any of his close relatives to uncover their nakedness, I am Jehovah. The nakedness of your father, that is, the nakedness of your mother, you shall not uncover. She is your mother, you shall not uncover her nakedness. The nakedness of your father's wife you shall not uncover, it is your father's nakedness. The nakedness of your sister, your father's daughter, or your mother's daughter, whether born at home or born abroad, their nakedness you shall not uncover. The nakedness of your son's daughter or of your daughter's daughter, their nakedness ye shall not uncover, for their nakedness is your own nakedness. The nakedness of your father's wife's daughter, begotten of your father she is your sister you shall not uncover her nakedness. You shall not uncover the nakedness of your father's sister, she is your father's flesh. You shall not uncover the nakedness of your mother's sister, for she is your mother's flesh. You shall not uncover the nakedness of your father's brother, that is, you shall not approach his wife, she is your aunt. You shall not uncover the nakedness of your daughter-in-law, she is your son's wife, you shall not uncover her nakedness. You shall not uncover the nakedness of your brother's wife, it is your brother's nakedness. You shall not uncover the nakedness of a woman and her daughter, you shall not take her son's daughter or her daughter's daughter to uncover her nakedness, they are her flesh, it is wickedness. And you shall not take a woman as wife in addition to her sister, as a rival to uncover her nakedness while she is alive. And you shall not approach to a woman to uncover her nakedness while she is in her menstrual uncleanness. And you shall not have sexual relations with the wife of your fellow countrymen to become defiled with her. And you shall not give any of your offspring to pass through the fire to Molech, and so profane the name of your God, I am Jehovah. You shall not lie with a male as one lies with a woman, it is an abomination. And you shall not lie with any beast to defile yourself with it, neither shall any woman stand before a beast, to lie down with it, it is confusion. Do not defile yourselves in any of these things, for by all these the nations which I am casting out before you have defiled themselves. Because the land has become defiled, I visited its iniquity upon it, and the land vomited out its inhabitants. You therefore shall keep my statutes and my ordinances, and shall not do any of these abominations, neither the native nor the sojourner who sojourns among you. For the men of the land who were before you have done all these abominations, and the land has become defiled. That the land does not vomit you out when you defile it, as it vomited out the nation which was before you. For all who do any of these abominations, those persons who do them shall be cut off from among their people. Therefore you shall keep my charge, so that you do not commit any of these abominable customs which were committed before you, and you do not defile yourselves by them, I am Jehovah your God.